A person from a developed city arrives at a remote village and hands someone who has only ever indulged in the occasional plucked fruit a white chocolate bar. Immediately, his eyes explode from the sweet ecstasy of experiencing processed sugar for the first time. And is it not intriguing? You would likely eat the very same thing with little care while scrolling on your phone or watching a movie. But for the villager, they will likely dream about that bar for days and marvel over the experience they got to have. Who, in the end, enjoys the chocolate more? The one who has abundant and convenient access, or the one who doesn't? If you can understand the implications of this, perhaps it's worth asking yourself why humans ravenously chase more of everything. Has nature not shown you enough times what happens the moment you obtain the thing you sought? It's like being the world's most uninformed central bank. You continuously print more money, then become confused when the country isn't suddenly rich like you expected. The truth is, in the same way an economy can only truly grow when productivity fundamentally increases, internal wealth can only be accrued when there is a genuine progression in your understanding about the true nature of your condition and the life of this world. Suppose someone from an alien planet arrives at your door tomorrow and hands you something to consume which can be likened to you handing the villager a chocolate bar. You will immediately crave more and can't imagine ever seeing this alien food as something normal. Yet, in reality, with enough exposure and repetitions, you will acclimate. For one of the most striking things about the human being is their ability to become accustomed to almost anything. Whether one is a prisoner in a concentration camp or living as royalty in a palace, a human is something that inherits a framework of life and then seeks to navigate it as they see fit. But the undeniable thing is that regardless of the position you find yourself in, there is nothing more effective for any individual than knowing who and what you really are. Wisdom is the thing that transpires when you start to realize the predictability of your urges and behaviors, when you become acutely conscious of how you have been following the schema of life you have inherited. What is a test you can employ to judge how well you know yourself? It is the frequency with which you admit you are not, in fact, the things you thought you were. You are much more predictable than you realize. You are perpetually anxious and unsatisfied. You have been fed a model of reality from birth and brainlessly accepted it. And consequently, you have mutated into a vessel of life that becomes easily attached and addicted to things in the search for some kind of happiness. But interestingly, the one who stands the greatest chance of escaping such a life is precisely the one who is wrestling such questions. You'll never know which direction to step in unless you can first open your eyes to see where you currently are. Humans have, for their entire history, been chasing sweeter and sweeter fruits, and the fruits have certainly gotten sweeter. But people still aren't satisfied. How much sweeter do the fruits need to get in order for one to realize perhaps the thing you're craving isn't sugar? Your life didn't get easier after supposedly getting better because it never really got better to begin with. A sweet treat, whilst enjoyable to the senses, will do nothing for a person writhing in suffering from something that ebbs from their core. Novel change in material comforts is something your conditioning can temporarily excite you about. But when the illusion wears off, when you've had every version of the chocolate bar, you realize your hunger has always been for something else, for something you can only satisfy by looking in a place you must have never looked before.